Uh, I also didn't know if have you looked ahead at next week's at all?
The Cadre thingy?
Yeah,
Let me get there. I tried to go through MSpace again through Blackboard, and it didn't work.
yeah, I did too. I was, like,
So it
sending you my
changed
link as I
everything.
saw your Yeah, I was gonna say, I just copied my link to send it to you as I saw your email.
Okay, so the week of the 12th. What's the biggest challenge that you see or that you may heard of? Something to resolve this. How would you as a teacher prefer to see an issue? Yes,
I didn't know if we could maybe I don't know, we'd probably have to split the recordings up, but knock out both of them just because I feel like they're both pretty easy and quick.
we could probably honestly, yeah, we could probably just split it up.
That's what I was
Or
thinking,
just
record this week and then pause it,
or just put
record
a
it, and
note
put
in
it
it.
in.
Yeah, or just put a note in it saying Cadre for week that and that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
'Cause I didn't
Yeah, but
I literally did not realize we had it until
I didn't either. But yeah, and I was gonna say they're both pretty easy, so I figured we could probably just knock them both out real quick.
Heck yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it. So, what routines or rules, procedures do you see at your school?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So, like, their rules one of their, like couple of the rules is, like, no wearing hats, no phones, like, the kids are not allowed to have their phones at all unless it's at lunch.
Mhm,
Um, and so, like, that's a big thing, and if they can wear a hat on Friday only, but any other time they have to pay a dollar or they're not allowed at all. A
mhm,
lot some of the teachers are really strict on the phone policies. Some teachers aren't so strict. My personal teacher is very strict. If she sees a phone in the classroom, she gives them one chance to put it up, and if it's after that, then she takes the phone, which is, I guess, kind of a weird, hard thing to do because I guess some parents get mad when that happens.
mhm.
Um, the other ones is hats, and that I've noticed a lot of students do good in that, but every once in a while, there's kids that come in with hats on, and it's more so the principal that administered that sorry, Bri, that do that, and, they just, like, they don't care, I guess, like, even though they
Mhm.
created that rule, they just walk by him and he doesn't say anything, so it's kind of interesting to see how even though
They don't enforce it as much, basically.
yeah, and the teacher says the administration's just kinda different, I guess, and very interesting personalities because while they're enforcing it, it's not necessarily enforced, and I guess that also causes blurry lines for students, like, I would understand that, like, if
Mhm.
the phone rule's not enforced everywhere, like, that kinda thing.
Yeah,
Although my teacher is really good about, like, sh if they're listening to music on, like, if they're working on their own, then, like, that's one
yeah.
thing, but if they're just, like, out in class or trying to do something, then
Mhm.
she doesn't allow it, and she is definitely more strict with the students that aren't as focused and engaged during class.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, mine's pretty much the same, although the dress code's a lot different, like, the kids at my school, they wear hats every day, even, like I think it's way dress code wise, you even see, like, girls in crop tops and stuff, so, like, I think the dress code at my school is very lax compared to
Um,
I mean, what I had in high school even because we couldn't wear hats either or even hoods, but, like, at the school I'm at, everybody wears a hat pretty much.
yeah, we couldn't wear,
Mm.
like, hats or hoods either, like, if we had it up, our teachers would be like, "Hey, like,
Mhm.
down."
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to me why, like, the hats, hoodies aren't allowed in schools, especially with, like, a safety purpose and
Yeah,
things
that's what I was
like
gonna
that,
say too.
but I just think it's interesting that it's a dollar if you wanna wear a hat for a
Mhm.
student.
Yeah, 'cause, like, I see the Friday thing, it's like a reward, if you're good,
Yeah.
wear a hat on Friday, but yeah, $1 kinda that's pretty interesting.
Well, and then, like, a routine that they kinda took away so they still have it on Fridays, but, like, they took it away. Seniors used to be able to leave and go get lunch
Mhm.
during the lunchtime because their cafeteria is not good. There's only 3 ladies that are working it,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's not like you have an option, it's just, like, whatever's there is there. So seniors used to be able to leave to go get lunch, like, the entire week. Now it's only on Fridays, and they do not
Mm.
like it at all.
Yeah, I bet that's tough 'cause They did that to my school the year I left. We could leave juniors and seniors, but the year I left, they shut it down to where nobody could leave. So it's, I'm assuming made a lot of those, people who
Yeah.
had just become juniors and seniors mad because they were
Oh,
looking forward to that, and then now you're stuck with school lunch.
yeah. Sorry, I keep looking away. My dogs have been trapped in my room all day because I observed all day, so they're a little
Oh
wild.
yeah, understandable.
Um,
Um, but yeah, with my the phone policy at the school, it's not a super big deal. They're not big on it. I mean, obviously, if the teacher's teaching, they'll take it and or say something. But my teacher specifically, it's zero phones, even if they're done with their work.
yeah,
Like you said, they can with yours listen to music, but after they put the music on the headphones in, it's in their pocket, or she'll take it and she takes it for the whole day. So I've only seen her do it once, and because the kids are scared, I asked her about it, and she was like, "No, they get scared because they can't really live without their phone,
yeah.
so it's not
Well,
really worth it."
I've never, really seen my teacher mad necessarily, but today, I had a doctor's appointment, so I came in late. I wasn't there at, the start of the period. I probably
Mhm.
I walked in towards the end, and I guess I took their animal science test, and she was mad. She goes, "I don't understand how someone can score 30% when I have stood up here and given you every single answer that was on this test and was found in your notes, except for those in the back." And was staring these kids down. She goes, "Except for those in the back who do not pay attention and who are on their iPads all the time, not taking notes. I don't know what else I can do to encourage you to try to actually care about your grade, but a
Mhm.
30% in this class is not passing."
Yeah, especially a class where it's like you said, she gives you all the answers before, you just have to
Oh, yeah.
pay attention.
She was mad. She's been struggling with these 2 students, especially because they know it, they're smart, but they won't try.
Mhm.
There's no trying them, and she was mad. I was sitting in the back, and she wasn't looking at me because they're, on the other side of the
Mhm.
room. I'm here, they're oh my gosh, my camera's reflipped. I'm here, they're here, and she was staring him down. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, if you were my teacher right now, I think I'd be shitting myself."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I don't so do your at your school, do they have iPads for does every kid have an iPad?
Every kid has an iPad. That is the only thing they are allowed to use electronically and be out, and
Mhm.
they are my district was really strict with what was blocked, but we still had more leniency. Most of the videos on YouTube are blocked. If
Mm.
you're trying to watch something educational on YouTube, good luck. They have, GimKit, which is kind of like a educational gaming site in a sense.
Yeah, I think
That's
my teacher uses that.
Yeah, that's blocked. They have very
Mm.
limited things, and, what was it? I taught my lesson on Tuesday, and I had one of my kids trying to get on something, and it was, the county or state Department of Agriculture site trying to find some information for their,
Mhm.
local county extension. That was blocked.
Dang, that's
I'm like,
crazy.
"Cool. That's fine."
Yeah, that's tough when that especially for when you're trying to do a lesson and everything's blocked, even educational stuff.
It was fine, we worked around and I kinda, helped some of them, and some of them just found it through, digging and, reading, but yeah,
Mhm.
the kids can't even connect their phones to the Wi-Fi, their iPad, when they get it, is already set, they don't know the password, nothing, they can't log on through, a student email thing.
Dude,
It's
that's how the Wi-Fi that's how it is at the school I'm shadowing at too, even they haven't even given me access to the Wi-Fi. I've asked, and they said they sent a thing to the tech guy to get it, but I guess only, 3 people in the whole building now, so
Yeah,
when I'm there, I can't
I
even,
have to
work on
connect to
homework
my
or anything.
phone, to do
Mhm,
my stuff, because usually while I'm in there, I'm typing some journals out or, just getting notes.
mhm.
But lately, since I've been there enough and I'm still, being able to watch, I'm typing my journals and getting those done and, being able to ask questions and stuff. But I have to use my hotspot, and the signal there's not great, so I'm like, I don't know what the kids are trying to do using their phones because nothing will load anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. I try to get on my hotspot, but in the classroom I'm in which I think it's another reason the kids never try to really get on their phones, there's just 0 service, my hotspot won't even load anything, so it's and yeah, I was shadowing one day, they were watching a movie in one of the hours, and it's I can't really do too much journal-wise for that, so I'm trying to work on homework, but I can't, so I'm just sitting there enjoying the movie, I guess,
Yeah.
feeling like a student.
Oh my gosh. We were watching a welding video, and the guy talking, I could not do it anymore. I looked at my teacher, and my teacher was struggling with it too because his voice and how he spoke,
Mhm.
and we were both losing it, but the high school kids are like, "Yeah, like, let's keep watching this." We're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, no."
it's crazy.
Um,
Yeah, but I've noticed too with I mean, at the school I'm at, the internet is a lot more, like, relaxed and because I see them play games all the time, so although they're not on their phones,
yeah,
I'll see the teacher teaching, and they're playing a little game on their computer, and it's
yeah.
like, I'm sitting right behind you guys, I can see, but
I will say it made me so happy because the Wi-Fi was out one day. I guess it got a virus or something, I don't know. But, the Wi-Fi went out, and the kid's like, "I'm gonna play the dinosaur game," and went on Google, and
Oh, yeah.
load, it has that little, like, running dinosaur. I'm like, "That takes me back to my high school," and that
Mhm.
kinda made me laugh.
Yeah, that's funny.
Out of all these, I think the hardest one to enforce, and I'm gonna say phones, but not because it's, like, a hard topic, just because it's hard. Like, I don't know how many vlogs or, like, TikTok people or, like, whatever have talked about it who are, like, kind educators, um, and, like, they just that's, like, one common topic is, like, controlling phones in the classroom. One
Mhm.
of the ones I watched, that I really like, she's a math teacher, really spunky, a lot of personality, but she has, like, those, like, little, like, hanging shower caddy, like, pocket thingies?
Oh, yeah.
She makes so she has calculators and all those, so when her kids come in, they have to go directly, put their phone in that, grab a calculator, and go, like, take their seat, like, it's every day, like, that is something they do,
Mhm.
she does not relax on it just because, like, she's having such a problem with her kids on the phones, but she's like, "I know it's comfort controversial, like, thing to do, but, like, that's what's happening."
Yeah. I mean, you even see videos on social media where kids are, like, fighting teachers over
Yeah,
taking their phones, and it's like,
no.
I mean, yeah. That's why I'm glad the school I'm at, it's pretty at least and I probably a lot of it is to do with there's no service in that classroom, but
Yeah.
they're super good about it. But, yeah, I think the hardest for mine is just kinda keeping kids focused because, like I said, on their computers while the teacher's teaching or they're supposed to be working on work, they're just playing games, and it's hard for the teacher to see everybody's computer.
Yeah. I know, like, my district actually had this thing that they could, like, look at everyone's computers that were in her
Mhm.
room and see what their screens were, and if one of them was, like, not actually doing it, she could block their screen and turn it off, and they'd have no access to it.
Oh, dang, that's cool. I'd imagine they have some sort of monitoring, but I don't know if my teacher's too, into actually watching and making sure because she's kinda if you're not gonna do the work, you're not gonna do the work kinda minded and can't force you to do it or
Yeah.
to force you to pay attention.
Um, should we move to the next one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so what's the biggest challenge that you have seen or that you may have heard of? What is the school doing to resolve this issue? How would you as a teacher prefer to see an issue handled when it comes to teacher input and involvement?
I know for the school that I'm at, they said which I haven't seen it because I don't ever go to the bathrooms or anything, but they said vaping was a really big deal. Um, so what they did and I know, like, my old high school, they implemented some sort of smoke detectors that can detect I don't know how good they work, but at the school I'm at, they have a program through the computers where the kids have to put in, like, like a pass to go to the bathroom,
Yeah,
and it'll track how often they go, so it's like if they're going at the same time every day and their best friend's going in another class the same time every day, they can kinda track that and make sure that they're not going to the bathrooms to vape with their friends and it's a way of keeping count of how often they're leaving class just to leave class if that's what they're doing,
yeah.
and I found that interesting because I didn't know they had, like,
I've heard of
online
something
bathrooms
similar
to
to
keep it.
that,
Mhm.
which I thought was cool. In Russell, which is where I'm at, one of the
Mhm.
biggest, like, challenges I've heard and, like, kinda seen is student test scores are very low, and it's very apparent in the classes, like, their reading, math, science, kinda all of that is extremely low for where they should be at. A lot of it is because of the whole COVID thing. Kids just had that lack, it
Mhm.
wasn't structured well. But after talking to my teacher, I don't know how to politically correctly say this, but a lot of there's like 3 or 4, maybe more teachers that aren't actually teachers there. Like, they have a degree, but they don't
Mhm.
like, they're not in transition to teach, like, they're not, like, don't have a teaching license things, but they teach there, I guess. And they're like some of the teachers are seeing a correlation to that specifically with it. So, like, I know, like, one of their special education teachers, she has her degree in psychology and is working on a master's in education, I think, right now, but she's not
Mhm.
licensed to teach. Um, then there's another one that's, like, the woods and is gonna be he's a certified welder, so he's also gonna be teaching a upper, like, welding class,
Mhm.
similar things like that, and they're seeing it transition into, like, the regular subjects because they don't have a strong, like, math teacher and things like that, so the kids aren't really fully learning anything. Not that they're not learning anything, they're not learning everything up to, I guess, the standards that they believe to, so some of the
Yeah.
teachers are
I
concerned
mean,
about that.
I could see that for sure because, like, at my high school that I went to, my senior year, we got a new freshman English teacher, and he came in to coach. But, yeah, all he had was a degree, and it wasn't something, like, completely unrelated, like marketing or some shit. Oh, something, sorry.
It's okay, I did it earlier and I didn't catch myself soon enough.
And they wanted a coach or wanted to hire him as a coach, and, like, I knew the guy just from being around. I know he's not the brightest, but he's teaching freshman English, and it's like, that's a very important stage for setting the tone for their I mean, up until college even.
Yeah,
So it's like you have someone who doesn't really
I really
care
like
about
the
English or want to do that,
no,
teaching it, it's kinda
yeah, I really like the, special education teacher, like, how she kinda took to everything was really cool, but she did say, the school doesn't have a lot of resources for their special education kids,
mhm.
and a lot of the paras in there are just, like, probably retired teachers or just, like, community members that are older and have nothing else to do, so they don't
That's how it is where I'm at too. It's
so they don't
and they lack pairs, they don't have enough, I mean
yeah. So and then, like, what was it? They were like today they had in their math class they were doing stuff and it was fine, but then they transitioned to English and that special education teacher went to a different room to work with
mhm.
and it was just kind of chaotic and I was like, I would be exhausted as a special education teacher. And I don't know how she transitioned into teaching if she hasn't had that experience before on top of it. So it's crazy to think about. Like,
Yeah, it's
how I'd feel going in without a teaching certificate or any background in it and just,
mhm.
like, jumping in.
And I think a lot of that too comes from just, like, lack of funding too, or,
Yeah.
nobody really wants to be a teacher because like you said, she's probably overworked and there's not enough pairs to help out and stuff like that, so it's
Yeah.
nobody really wants to do that.
No, I agree.
Um, I think we're probably good,
Yeah.
mostly, I mean, sounds good, so you'll have to send me this one again too, right?
I will do that right now.
Sounds good, and then just before the 19th, we'll touch base and get our last one.